Imagine for a second, you're late for the most important meeting of your life. You're stuck in deadlocked traffic. Cars aren't moving. You look at your watch, and your heart starts beating faster and faster. Inside, a cocktail of anger, panic, and helplessness boils. You start honking, swearing at other drivers, cursing city authorities and fate itself. A familiar situation, isn't it? Most of us react exactly like that. We allow external circumstances to completely take over our inner world. But what if there was another way? What if you could remain calm and clear-headed even in the epicenter of chaos? The ancient Stoics, philosophers who lived 2,000 years ago, believed that this was not only possible, but necessary for a good life. They were masters of human psychology, and their teaching is a true operating system for the mind, helping to cope with the difficulties of the modern world. The Stoics were not emotionless robots. They loved loss, faced betrayal, illness, and political intrigues. But they developed a set of principles that allowed them not to break under life's pressure, but to become stronger. Today, we won't talk about who the Stoics were. We'll talk about who they wouldn't be. We will analyze 7 key errors in thinking and behavior that modern people commit every day, but which a Stoic, armed with their philosophy, would never permit. Ready to check how many of these mistakes you make yourself? Then get comfortable. We're starting. Error number 1. Trying to control the uncontrollable. This is perhaps the fundamental error from which almost all our suffering stems. We spend a colossal amount of mental and emotional energy on things that are beyond our control: the weather, traffic jams, the global economy, the past, other people's opinions of us, their actions, and even the outcome of many of our own efforts. Let's go back to our traffic jam example. What is within your control? You cannot make cars move faster. You cannot turn back time to leave earlier. You cannot clear the road with the power of thought. All this is beyond your power. But what is within your power? Your reaction, your thoughts about it, your actions in the given situation. You can get angry and ruin your nerves, or you can accept the fact, I'm in traffic, I'm late, and then rationally decide what to do next. Call and warn about the delay, reschedule the meeting, turn on a useful podcast or audiobook to use this time productively, or simply breathe calmly and observe what's happening around you. The Stoic Epictetus formulated this principle perfectly. He called it the dichotomy of control. In his Enchiridion, he writes, "Of existing things, some are in our power, others are not. In our power are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and in a word, whatever are our own actions. Not in our power are body, property, reputation, command, and in a word, whatever are not our own actions." Think about how often you worry because someone didn't reply to your message as quickly as you wanted, or because your project didn't receive the recognition you expected, or because your friend gave you advice you didn't ask for. In all these cases, we focus on what doesn't belong to us, on the actions and thoughts of other people. A Stoic, however, would immediately redirect their attention inward. They would ask themselves, what is my best reaction to this? What can I do based on my principles and values? Practical advice. Every time you feel anxiety, anger, or frustration, ask yourself a simple question. Is what's bothering me within my control or not? If not, accept it as a fact, like rain outside the window. You cannot stop it, but you can take an umbrella. Focus on finding your umbrella, your wise and balanced reaction. Error. Number 2. Being a slave to your passions. Anger, envy, fear, and insatiable desire for pleasure. The Stoics called these uncontrolled emotions passions. They considered them diseases of the soul. It's important to understand, the Stoics did not advocate getting rid of emotions altogether. They recognized the existence of natural, healthy feelings, but they drew a clear line between the initial instinctive response and what we do with it next. Imagine someone cut you off on the road. The first flash of irritation is a natural reaction. A Stoic would feel it too. But the mistake they would not make is to give in to that flash, to turn it into rage, to start chasing the offender, shouting and seeking revenge. They would not allow the first impression to seize control of their mind. They would pause. They would analyze the situation. This person might be rushing to the hospital, or maybe they are just an inattentive driver. In any case, my rage won't fix the situation, won't make me safer on the road, and will only poison my own day. The modern world is built on cultivating passions. Advertising ignites in us the desire to possess things we don't need. Social media provokes envy for other people's often fabricated lives. News and politics play on our fear and anger. Being a slave to passions is the default setting for modern people. Stoicism offers to switch to manual control. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoics, wrote an entire treatise on anger. He called anger a brief madness and said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay. When you feel an emotion overwhelming you, give yourself time. Don't reply to an angry email immediately. Don't engage in an argument when you're on edge. Leave the room, count to 10, breathe." This pause allows your rational mind, your inner hegemon as the Stoics called it, to regain control. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor philosopher, constantly reminded himself in his meditations. Say to yourself in the morning, "Today I shall meet with the busybody, the ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, unsocial." He held no illusions about human nature, but instead of being angry at them, he used reason to understand that they act this way due to their ignorance, because they don't distinguish good from evil. And this understanding extinguished his anger and replaced it with compassion, or at least tolerance. Error number 3, seeking happiness in external things. If I buy a new car, I'll be happy. If I get a promotion, life will be better. If I get 1 million followers, I'll feel significant. We live in a culture that constantly tells us happiness is something external. It's something to acquire, achieve, conquer. Money, fame, status, the approval of others. The Stoics would call such an approach a guaranteed path to disappointment. Why? Because all these things are inherently unstable and beyond our complete control. Returning to error number 1. Money can be lost. Fame can be lost. People's approval is even more capricious and changeable than the weather. Building your inner well-being on such shaky ground is like building a house on sand. For the Stoics, the only true good is virtue. That is, wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. And the only true evil is vice. Everything else, health, wealth, reputation, even life and death itself, they categorized as indifferent. Not in the sense that they didn't care about it, but in the sense that these things by themselves do not make a person good or bad, happy or unhappy. They are merely the material with which virtue works. Imagine 2 people. One is rich, famous, but cowardly, unjust, and envious. The other has modest means, but is honest, brave, and kind to others. Who, in your opinion, lives a better life? For a Stoic, the answer is obvious. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, not on the amount of money in your bank account, not on the make of your car. Happiness is an internal project. It is the result of cultivating your character, your mind." A Stoic would not refuse wealth if it came to them honestly, but they would not prioritize it. They would use it as a tool for virtuous actions, and they would be ready to lose it at any moment without despair, because their true treasure, their virtuous character, always remains with them. In our time, this error is especially insidious due to social media. We constantly compare our behind-the-scenes life with others' front-stage photos. We chase likes that only give a fleeting dopamine rush, but do not bring deep satisfaction. A Stoic would look at this with a smirk. They would say, "You seek approval from those whom you yourselves often disapprove of, and value the opinion of people who cannot even agree with themselves." Error number 4, exaggerating the importance of trifles and forgetting the view from above. A colleague didn't say hello. Your favorite dessert ran out at your favorite cafe. The internet is slow. Someone left a rude comment on your post. How often do such trifles manage to spoil our mood for the whole day? We make mountains out of molehills, allowing insignificant events to occupy a disproportionately large place in our consciousness. To combat this error, the Stoics used a powerful exercise that can be called the view from above, or cosmic perspective. Marcus Aurelius practiced it constantly. He advised imagining Earth from space, a small ball lost in infinity, then zooming in, seeing continents, countries, cities, and finally your own tiny district, your home and yourself in it. Busy with your important affairs, from such a perspective, spilled coffee or a rude word from a colleague lose their tragic significance. They become what they truly are, tiny ripples on the surface of the vast ocean of existence. This exercise is not meant to make you feel insignificant, but to help you prioritize correctly. It helps to distinguish real problems from imaginary ones. Seneca, in his letters, often reminded us that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Our mind is a master at creating catastrophic scenarios from trifles. What if the boss thought I was incompetent? What if this cough is a symptom of a terrible disease? We wind ourselves up, worrying about events that most likely will never happen. A Stoic, when faced with a minor annoyance, would apply the view from above. They would ask themselves, will this matter in a year? In 5 years? Will I remember this on my deathbed? In 99% of cases, the answer is no, and this realization immediately disarms the problem. It allows one to say, yes, it's unpleasant, but it's not a catastrophe. I can handle it and move on. This practice is especially useful in conflicts. When we argue with loved ones over some trifle, the view from above helps us remember the value of these relationships, the brevity of life, and how foolish it is to waste it on petty grievances. Error number 5, living as if you are immortal. We put off important conversations for later. We tell ourselves that we will start exercising on Monday. We endure a hated job, thinking that someday we will find something better. We live with the illusion that we have an infinite amount of time in reserve. This is one of the most dangerous and common errors. The Stoics were obsessed with the idea of life's finitude, but not in a grim, depressing sense. On the contrary, for them, the awareness of death was the main source of meaning, motivation, and joy. The practice of memento mori, remember death, was a daily reminder for them. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. We waste it on meaningless anxieties, on chasing external things, on procrastination." The idea that this day could be the last fundamentally changes perspective. It forces us to ask the right questions. Do I really want to spend this hour on a meaningless argument online? Do I really want to spend this evening being angry at someone? Or do I want to tell my loved ones how much I love them? Do I want to work on what I consider important? Do I want to enjoy the moment here and now? The awareness of death is a filter that cuts off everything non-essential. It instills courage. Why fear the opinions of others if both you and they are merely temporary guests in this world? Why postpone your dream if later may never come? Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This is not an appeal to reckless hedonism. It is an appeal to a conscious, fulfilling, and virtuous life in every moment. Not to live in the past, which is already gone. Not to live in the future, which has not yet arrived. To live here and now, because this is the only time we have. Try this thought experiment. Imagine you found out you only had 1 year left to live. What would you change? What would you give up? What would you focus on? The answers to these questions will show you your true values. And the Stoics would say, so why aren't you living that way right now? Error number 6, blaming others and circumstances for your problems. I didn't succeed because I had bad parents. I'm unhappy in my relationship because my partner doesn't understand me. Nothing works out for me because there are no opportunities in this country. Shifting responsibility is a very convenient defense mechanism. It relieves us of the burden of needing to change and work on ourselves. After all, if someone else is to blame, then I am just a victim. The Stoics considered such a position childish and unworthy of a rational person. Epictetus divided people into 3 categories. The ignorant person blames others for their misfortunes. The beginning philosopher blames themselves. And the wise person, the Stoic, blames no one, neither others nor themselves. They simply accept events as they are and work on their reaction, on what is within their power. To blame others means voluntarily giving them the keys to your internal state. If your mood depends on whether your boss praised you or not, then your boss is your master. If your happiness depends on your partner's behavior, then you are their slave. Stoicism is a philosophy of ultimate personal responsibility and inner freedom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Someone said an offensive word to you. The word itself is just sound vibrations. It becomes offensive only when you make a judgment. This is an insult. This is unfair. This person wanted to hurt me." A Stoic, however, would try to look at it objectively. This person expressed their opinion based on their own perception and perhaps their own problems. It doesn't directly concern me. I am not obligated to take it personally and allow it to destroy my peace. This does not mean one should tolerate injustice or bad treatment. A Stoic will act. They can protect their boundaries, express their position, fight for the truth. But they will do so for rational reasons, not out of resentment or revenge. Their inner world will remain undisturbed, instead of asking, who is to blame? A Stoic asks, what can I do about it? This shift of focus from external accusation to internal responsibility is the path to true strength and freedom. Error number 7, neglecting daily reflection. We live our days on autopilot. We wake up, go to work, perform routine tasks, watch TV series in the evening, go to bed. And so, day after day, we rarely stop to analyze our actions, thoughts, and decisions. We don't learn from our mistakes, and therefore we are doomed to repeat them again and again. For the Stoics, philosophy was not theoretical knowledge, but a daily practice. And a key element of this practice was evening reflection. Seneca described this ritual in detail. Every evening before bed, he would conduct a self-interrogation. What weakness did I overcome today? What temptation did I resist? In what way did I become better? This is not self-flagellation. It is an honest and constructive analysis of one's day. It's like reviewing game footage for an athlete. You look at what went well to reinforce success. You analyze where you made mistakes to play better next time. Imagine you snapped at a colleague. Without reflection, you might just forget about it or vaguely feel guilty. With reflection, you would ask yourself, why did I react that way? What was the trigger? Was I hungry or tired? What false judgment of mine led to this outburst of anger? How could I have acted differently? What will I do tomorrow to apologize and prevent this from happening again? Such daily practice transforms one's entire life into a process of learning and self-improvement. You begin to understand yourself better, your behavior patterns, your strengths and weaknesses. You stop being merely a chip carried by the current of life and become the captain of your ship. Marcus Aurelius did the same, but in written form. His famous meditations are his personal reflection diary, his conversation with himself. Again and again, he reminded himself of the key principles of Stoicism, analyzed his reactions, and adjusted his internal compass. In our busy world, finding 10-15 minutes a day for quiet reflection seems like a luxury. But the Stoics would say it's not a luxury, but a necessity. It's like sharpening an axe. You can keep chopping with a dull axe endlessly, spending a lot of effort and getting meager results. Or you can spend a little time sharpening it, and then the work will go much easier and more efficiently. Your soul, your mind, that is this axe. Do not neglect to sharpen it. So, let's summarize. 7 errors a Stoic would not commit. Trying to control the uncontrollable. Being a slave to your passions. Seeking happiness in external things. 4. Exaggerating the importance of trifles. Living as if you are immortal. Blaming others for your problems. And neglecting daily reflection. Perhaps while listening to this, you recognized yourself in many points, and that is absolutely normal. None of us is a perfect sage. The Stoics themselves emphasize that Stoicism is not a destination but a path. It is a constant practice, a daily effort. The purpose of this video is not to make you feel guilty, but to give you a map and a compass, so that the next time you get stuck in traffic, encounter rudeness, or chase another like, a bell rings in your head, so that you can pause and ask yourself, how would a Stoic act right now? The philosophy of the Stoics is not a relic from the past. It is an incredibly relevant and powerful tool for navigating the complex and chaotic 21st century. It teaches us resilience, tranquility, courage, and ultimately, the art of living a good, meaningful life, regardless of external circumstances. And which of these errors is most familiar to you? What do you struggle with most often? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss it together. After all, as the Stoics said, we are all parts of one whole, and we can learn from each other. Thank you for watching this video to the end. If it was helpful to you, please like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new episodes about life-changing wisdom. Remember, the most important battle happens within us, and with the right tools, we can win it. Be strong and wise. See you again.